So Season X is for casuals. Nobody seems to be enjoying the game. So to your point, I think there was a poll on Twitter that actually asked, I think it was Daquan? Yeah. Do you enjoy playing Fortnite? No. 42% of the people said no. Now, 35% of the people say they have nothing else to play, so they're still playing it, right? So it's like there's a lot of people that clearly like they have invested so much time into Fortnite. And I remember when I was a kid, I was the same way with Halo. You just have one game that you play, and that's it. But there's a large percentage like that are saying they're not having fun right now. They're just not enjoying the game. And as you were mentioning, that is super not good for the community and for the developers, especially with how much cool stuff is coming out, like the auto chess variants of games like TFT and Dota's auto chess. Like these are becoming incredibly popular. Like there's more competition. Battle royales aren't the newest, hottest thing now, right? So it's really like I know Epic for a long time has tried to balance these two communities, but I think they really have to figure out what their game plan is and be concrete about it, because otherwise they're going to have a serious problem on their hands where they're going to start hemorrhaging users like crazy as people could decide, I just don't want to play this game anymore, when every couple of weeks, or it seems like, especially at the start of every season, the game just isn't fun. Like we remember at the start of last season, there was ballers and all this crazy stuff that was just so OP that it made it not fun. Like you just find a baller, you hide all game, and then you're alive. And hey, you get top 3 or 5 guaranteed, and everybody else is just, stuck. And I feel like this is very, very similar. The brutes are just absolutely ridiculous. The fact that they brought zombies back is ridiculous. I just don't know what to say. I mean, there's a Reddit thread on this too, like a popular one. And you see like here, Avery replying to this is basically the Reddit thread used this image, and there was a whole bunch of comments off of it, but he basically was just saying that, he misses when the people actually listen to the community. Now, I'm not entirely sure what time he was talking about.
Very long time ago.
Because it's been a while since
they used to do video updates, like dev updates. They stopped that after like season 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, you have such a diverse community that I think there is definitely a truth in the fact that you are never going to make the whole community happy, right? Like that is never going to happen. So I understand that. But at the same time, like you have to keep, I've always, thought that.
Sorry, I'm just reading this Reddit thing. That's a kind of a crazy analogy. But he's like, imagine your house is on fire and you can't save your parents. Like, bro, all right, it's a video game, relax. I can see that he's distraught.
Yeah, I mean, you have to remember, for so many people, this is the game they grew up playing now. This is the game they've invested years in. Yeah, it's pretty dark.
This is how upset people are getting, though.
Yeah,
and what world, Dave, little pop quiz, what universe is Apex Legends from? Titanfall.
Oh.
You know what Apex Legends doesn't have in their game? Giant robots.
They don't.
Why does Fortnite have giant robots in their game? It's not good for Battle Royale. It's not a good idea. And that on now, man, it's like Fortnite lost its identity. It's like 8 things at once. It doesn't know what it wants to be. There's giant mechs. Now there's a POI with zombies again. Oh, there's a POI where hey, howdy, now you can't build, and everyone's got cowboy stuff on. It's like, hey guys, every dev, whatever game you've ever wanted to make, we're gonna put that in Fortnite. So we're all gonna, since we all have all the money in the world, let's just make the biggest, if I may say, clusterfuck of a game that we possibly can make right now. Because why the hell not? Let's let the wheels fall off this thing at this stage, because they're so on top right now. It's am I wrong? I feel like this game is like in 10 different directions right now, and it doesn't have an identity right now.
You're not wrong. I mean,
I can't even say that's because of like the season theme. It's just.
So is it okay? So do you think that Epic is going, okay, we just finished the World Cup. Let us cater to the casuals for a couple weeks, make them really happy, give them a bunch of wacky stuff to use. And then, now that season 10 competitions are going to start coming back probably in like a week or two, then we'll kind of roll back into the competitive mode. I think you keep it out of arena. Like it makes it so that the competitive players, if they don't have a practice, like a scrim or something that they can do, they have nowhere to play this game.
Yep.
They have nowhere to play this game. And that is super, super dangerous. I know I've said it a million times on this show, but in its heyday, Halo had a bunch of wacky stuff that didn't matter because I could play the MLG playlist. And none of that crap ever made its way in there. It was always tested by pros. Pros approved the
Exactly.
settings. Everybody liked it. That was the key. And now, I just don't know.
Frustrating when they say we can't have separate loot pools, but they do for like Team Rumble. Like that's they straight up a different loot pool. So like, why can't they have that for Arena? Why can't they have that for other? They do it for other LTMs. For example, when they have the flying high LTM where everyone has a jetpack, you can't get a jetpack in the other games. Like it's as simple as that. Why do they have to have these broken items in Arena? Nobody would be complaining. That's the thing. If they just put this stuff in solos and duos and regular squads, like people still wouldn't be complaining as much. But the fact that it's in every game mode, like, and they're not going anywhere as far as brutes go, they're not going anywhere, and that's been proven because they're apparently part of like the season-long challenges. So, I mean that should tell you right there that this is something it's here to stay. And
yeah.
After this week, the response it's gotten, like hashtag remove the mech, and just so much like negative feedback on Twitter from everybody, and they still haven't responded or done anything about it. Like in terms
that's
of
the worrying thing.
I think that's the dagger. Like
it's the fact that we're not getting,
and we got to deal with it now.
Yeah, the fact that we're not getting any feedback or communication from Epic Games directly is a problem, and I think that Reddit comment that just got pulled up was right on the money, because essentially, you know, most game communities, we can be placated if you talk to us like human beings and tell us what is going on, what is the reason for your decision making. You know, I don't understand why every community, and especially like somebody like Epic, doesn't have somebody whose full-time job is to monitor Reddit, be on Reddit all day, 8 hours a day, and respond to the top threads. Respond to the things that need a response. Like, you know, you see the thread, you go, you pull it in, and either you make an official somewhat of a statement, or you acknowledge at least that you're hearing this, or you go, you bring it to the rest of the Epic team and you go, we need to address this because this is the top thread on Reddit right now. This is one of the top threads. We need to figure this out. And instead, that's not happening. And when we don't get any information, it's like, you know, when you were a kid and your parents would just say, because I told you so. It's like, that's not an answer.
Because I said so.
There's no information there. Yeah, exactly. My house or something. Like that doesn't mean anything. You're just throwing nothing at me and expecting me to understand. And it's just, this is how this feels to me. Like we're not getting any information. We're being told, well, there's mechs in the game, deal with it. Just in the patch notes. No, not even in the patch notes do they acknowledge the amount of distress that people are going through. Maybe next week's patch notes, but it's bad.